Yeah, because it doesn't fundamentally matter who's in those roles. They're like boxes in the AI, and like the processes were figured out 7 years ago, and that part of the strength of the business is the turnover. Like that's one of the reasons to give Google a strong multiple is that they have so much turnover within each of these boxes, and then business continues to grow. Is that they've de-skilled something as complex as running like a global search engine. So it's like the more skilled something is, the worse the business is.
So that's interesting. So what you're saying is actually, yeah, that as long as if you can afford to have that turnover, what it means is that the positions didn't really require much skill to begin with, and the business is, yeah, that much stronger. That actually makes sense. That's
And
actually
then
that's a scary explanation. So it's like, why do you even have people in those roles?
they haven't automated them yet. Yeah.
What percentage do you think what percentage do you think is actually work in roles like that?
Oh,
Like 20,
15%,
15?
15%
Yeah,
max.
yeah,
I think the rest is overhead.
yeah. The rest is just
And
meetings and coordination and stuff.
but mostly kind of like I just think about like kind of a Byzantine court, like in just kind of like the rituals of a dominance hierarchy in the mid level. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not a Byzantine court. It would be kind of like one of the minor small towns in Asia Minor.
That actually that makes tons of sense. Yeah, so much of it is just about the socialization, and that's why people also have back-to-back meet. Like this is one of the things I couldn't get over in almost everywhere that I worked on the corporate side.
Yep.
Back-to-back meetings all day long. I'm just like, what are you doing in these meetings? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't possibly be getting work done unless you're setting up working sessions. Like, it's one thing,
Oh,
like when you and I got on the phone
yep,
yesterday and we were
yep,
like going over a spreadsheet, and it's like, we're this and that, and what do you
yep.
think here? And we're thinking about it and walking through it, and then we establish the next
It's
step.
equivalent of pair programming for data.
But you can't possibly be doing that for, like, if you have 10 hours worth of meetings on your calendar, let's say that amounts to 12 or 14
Oh,
meetings.
no, but it's not work. That's research. That's intelligence gathering. It's that because everyone hoards information to kind of maintain their position in the dominance hierarchy. It's that you schedule meetings so that you can gather information to figure out which way a decision is likely to go, and then position you and your team to capture more capital flows and slowly increase your position in the dominance hierarchy.
Yeah, and that's the part that just is like, I'm like, oh, it's so tiring. Like,
My favorite is like there's friends I have that are extremely conservative and they love talking about like, oh my god, there's lockdown, my freedom, right? And the thing that blows me away is they have a corporate job and it's like for 8 hours a day every day they are a feudal serf at the beck
yep,
and whim of their lord. And like the the United States of America is a completely irrelevant political entity compared to the job that you have and your
oh,
employer.
totally. This another friend of mine who I do podcasts with from time to time. He mentioned to me the other day, we actually live in a neo-feudal era.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree with
right.
that.
Yeah, and it's and we're trending toward a more extreme version of neo-feudal, where there are something like monarchs, and that's going to be the sort of like the arch capitalists, the arch, business owners, the Gates and the Gates and the Musks and the Buffetts of the world, and then I suppose the political hierarchy would be just beneath them.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then you sort of have like professionals, right?
Yep.
And then serfs, right? And the top three categories are only going to make up 2% of the population, right? If you extend this out far enough.
And that goes back to that thing about how like in the 90s it was not required for Clinton to bring about the late Republic cycle like this. Like that wasn't guaranteed and it wasn't required. We could have kept the same system because that was us importing capital and kind of lording our power over other countries instead of making it so we're diluting people within the country. It's still kind of fucked up, but it's better for the people within a certain set of borders. And now it's just kind of like that the cycle is almost guaranteed to keep going because no country has ever prevented this cycle from playing out? Like what for your kids, because like you're already a father with multiple kids. So like how do you, when you're
Multiple kids. I love
college, multiple
it.
kids, you know, I'm not dead yet. The like
I
how,
like that you said yet. That's important.
yeah, very, yeah. And I'm like, I was like six or bust.